Welcome back to Benny Watkins Field, and for once, we have some sunshine here at the 41st District Tournament. We've got Night 2 coming your way next on the Cable 10 Game of the Week.
In 1972, a young David Tolles vowed to jump the Kentucky River on his big wheel. He did not make it. We can rebuild him. We have the capability to make the world's perfect mechanic. Better, stronger, faster. David Tolles Tires and Auto Service on Duncan Road.
Game of the Week is brought to you by David Tolles Auto Pro Tire and Auto Service, a full-service auto repair shop servicing all models. 2 locations to serve your automotive needs. Call 502-352-2988 for an appointment or go to davidtollsautopros.com.
In today's fast-paced housing market, you need realtors with experience who understand that timing is essential when finding the perfect home for the right price. Tim and Rebecca Hubbard with Exit Realty Crutcher are here to ensure that you and your family have a positive experience from start to finish.
Real estate is what we do,
and families are why we do it.
The Game of the Week is brought to you by Tim and Rebecca Hubbard with Exit Realty Crutcher. Choose local realtors that treat you like family because real estate is what we do and families are why we do it. Reach out to the Hubbard team for all your real estate needs.
My best money tip is,
Allow your money and other people's money to make money for you.
Think generationally, past yourself. Save, save, save.
Even if it's just $5.
Spend money on things that make sense to buy twice.
Pay back your student loans as fast as you can.
Take good care of your credit because it's buying power.
Start a retirement fund and invest in my 401k.
My best money tip is prepare for everything to go right.
Confidently manage your finances with more solid advice from WestBanco. Money doesn't make you wealthy. Understanding it does.
Game of the Week is brought to you by WestBanco Bank. Money doesn't make you wealthy. Understanding it does. So let's talk. Learn more at westbanco.com.
Let's kick it in gear and play ball!
Welcome back to the 41st District Tournament here on Cable 10, and we've had every single game of this tournament, including the play-in games for you on the Game of the Week. We're so happy to be back with you for Night 3, which is actually round 1, but the second night of round 1. And alongside Brad Thomas, I'm John Pieseimer, and tonight's matchup, the girls of Frankfort High taking on the girls of Frankfort Christian.
Yeah, this is a flashback to the August 18th game where Frankfort was a 6-0 victor at the Christian Academy.
Yeah, Frankfort High coming in with a record of 8-5-5 on the season. A couple of players really to watch out for here, and the one that jumps off the list for, you know, just looking at it purely from a scoring perspective is Emma Johnson with 30 goals on the season.
Yeah, she's got to be one of the leaders in the state with that production.
And 5 assists as well, so That's the second most assists on the team, so definitely, doing a little bit of everything. And then you look on the other side, we've got Frankfort Christian, the Lady Royals, coming in with a 7-9 record on the season, but they've got a two-headed beast in attack, and both of them are the children of the coach.
Yeah, Daniel Moore's daughters have been spectacular this year, with Abby punching in 24 goals and 2 assists, and then little sister Lily coming in with 10 goals and 5 assists. As a dad who coached a daughter playing, it's proud moments, but I can tell you he's probably harder on those two than anybody else on the field.
Well, those two, I think, I guess that's always the dynamic, is you can lean on those kids a little bit more because, they know what the deal is when they get home, I guess. But we're underway here, and we are going to do the best we can with jersey numbers because, as you can see, we've got quite a bit of sunlight out here, which has not been the case for the first 2 nights. And
yeah, it's Frankfort, when coming in as the home team in black or blue, and then the traveling Frankfort Christian Academy all the way from the other side of town wearing the visitor white.
Frankfort High on the attack early. That ball is just going to be allowed to go out, and we'll see.
It's our first corner kick of the night.
Yeah, we are going to get a corner. The Royals let that one roll out of play. I think they thought it might have been touched by a Panther, but we're going to get a corner kick here, as that's lining up for it. Number 5 for the Panthers, Rebecca Pires.
Yeah, Coach Bo Craycraft's going to pull something off the training grounds with this one as he goes short for the corner. But we'll see what comes out of this with the ball deep in Christian Academy's end.
There's the shot from distance, and coming in to make the save, called on early, is the Frankfort Christian goalkeeper.
And that is Ella Hansen with that save.
Let's see if the Royals can get anything started on the other end. I thought that one went out, but
that's Abby Moore coming down the left wing with a head of steam.
Getting it onto her right foot, looking for somebody in the center, but that one is going to bounce.
Well,
I think I couldn't tell where it was bounced out, so it'll be they're pointing towards the
I got a corner.
Goal. Wow.
You said corner, so.
We're certainly not going to curse having a little bit of sunlight here, as you see the coach for Frankfort High, Bo Craycraft, stalking the sideline.
We got both Moore girls here looking for that short corner again. That was Lily putting it in on frame there.
Attempt at a left-footed shot there by number 13, Maddie Hornbeck. Not really any power or direction behind it. Frankfort High with the chance to counter.
And talking earlier today with Bo Craycraft, the coach of Frankfort, he's going to try and put in a 4-1-3-2 formation. So he said really the key for them is going to be possession. And you can see both teams a little frazzled right now, just playing a little keep away. But being able to connect passes will be the key to this game from his perspective.
Yeah, and that's one good thing about having that one kind of deeper lying midfielder to help really flip the field when you get in that situation.
Yeah. And this is going to be something we're going to see the Christian Academy try and do quite a bit, is get the Moore girls out with space. And once again, it's leading to another corner kick.
Yeah, that's got to be so convenient to have kids that live in the same household, have grown up together, and they're going to be knowing exactly what the other is thinking. And that's so valuable to have when you're just trying to, pass the ball around and trying to move past defenses, to know exactly where the other is going to be.
Yeah, communication is key in soccer, and as we see the family connection here, we'll see if they can put one in.
There's a right-footed cross and punched out that time.
I believe that was our keeper, Taylor Gaines.
Taylor Gaines with the red, white, and blue goalie jersey. That was one I haven't seen before. It's kind of cool.
As you look at the weather we've had this week, I'm really excited to see sun, but from our perspective, it's going to be a little difficult to pick players out.
Yeah. especially those the white on black numbers are going to be a little bit difficult, and the sun, of course, here at Benny Watkins Field is sort of pointing right towards our cameras. You know, there was a time a couple of years ago when it was going the other way. We'll put a pin in that as Frankfort High is on the attack here. It's Addison Hiles who
just able to put a shot on goal, but easily taken care of by the keeper there.
Yeah, it looked like she might have been trying to get it on her left foot.
Yeah, Ella Hansen came out very confident on that one.
That's what you want out of a keeper, somebody that will take initiative. Now attacking down the right side is Frankfort Christian.
As up and down soccer is really playing into the way Christian Academy want to play tonight. They're looking to get their forwards out and be able to get some shots on frame. And Frankfort trying to slow things down a little bit here and keep possession. So a little bit of battle of wills at this point.
And you said Frankfort Christian coming out in, you know, you'd call it kind of a standard 4-4-2?
Yes. And, you know, really what they're trying to do is gum up that middle so they can quickly transition into the offensive end.
On the left side, we have the Panthers attacking, cutting it onto the left foot. There is, I think that was Addison Hiles, the number 1, who was a player I didn't have on my roster to begin with. There's the shot from distance. Still with it, and
another good save by our keeper there. Staying busy, we're getting shots on goal, so I think we're going to see some definitely some offensive fireworks here quickly in this game, as we're only just a few minutes in and already seeing shots on goal.
This one's just going to spill out to the left side. Looks like that's going to be a throw for Frankfort High.
You know, one thing that I will say in all the years of soccer in Frankfort, being able to have the advantage of having turf fields for this tournament. You look at the rain that we've had in the past, we probably wouldn't be able to play at all this week, but thanks to the investments or Franklin County School Boards has done in the past, bringing turf both to Western Hills and to Franklin County, it's allowed these games to be played in conditions that in the past would not have been.
Yeah, that is a big benefit, and especially for these teams that are playing in the tournament. A lot of the the teams that are moving on to the 11th region, there's a good chance they're going to be playing on turf surfaces as well, and they've got, a season's worth of experience on it.
Yeah, because it's a totally different sport on the turf because the ball just moves faster. If you're practicing and playing all your games on grass and try and go to turf, it's very difficult. So, one thing that, as I said, a shout out to Mark Kopp and the school board for investing in our kids' future.
And that's not to say that I didn't enjoy some of those games we had over at the Sauer Soccer Complex, which just to me is such a cool place to watch a game. And
it's definitely got the aura, but it definitely needed a little bit better turf.
This will be a throw for the Panthers. Of course, the winner of this game will move on to take on Great Crossing, who really just, I think, laid it on the Flyers last night.
It's almost decimated. When you look at Great Crossing, they are just dominating girls soccer in our 41st district, and I expect them to go far in the region now that they've qualified. Let's see if they'll bring home the district title, but Great Crossing definitely has a good team this year.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting because last year, I think, and here's a shot from distance.
Oh,
and it will
my.
find the top right corner. What a way to open up the scoring.
That was a blast.
I want to see who hit that because it was Emma Johnson. She gets number 31 for the season, and what a way to get it.
That was from 20 yards out and just blasted. Well, take a look at this shot.
Yep, she knew exactly what she wanted to do with it. Got it to her right foot, got a little bit of space, and didn't need an invitation, and that puts the Panthers up by 1 early.
That upper 90, I'm telling you, that is textbook shot.
We've seen some incredible goals from distance so far in this tournament. Western Hills with 1 in the preliminary game, and then we had just a number of them from the Warhawks who we were talking about just a little bit ago. It seemed like and that was Emma Johnson once again.
Number 7. Number 7. Yeah.
Wearing the number 7, but with the confidence of the number 9.
Yeah, as the keeper there, Ella didn't have a whole lot of chance there, Ella Hansen, but what a play by Johnson there.
And, the possibility is she might have, been looking in the sun a little bit too.
Yep. I don't know. That was such a good shot. I don't think you're going to see hardly any high school keepers keep that one out.
Yeah, that was perfect placement and power.
And that's going to change this game. Let's get another look at that shot. Check out this technique. She drops the toe. Great stroke.
Yeah, almost just like a chip shot.
Yep.
That's one as the keeper. You just have to sort of take your hat off to them and say, well done.
And the thing about Emma Johnson, she's a junior, so she's already dominating in high school soccer, so it'd be fun to watch her again next year.
There's Autumn Wardlow with the shot.
Oh,
rebound
keeper's
attempt.
down.
We've got a little bit of a train wreck in front of goal, and that is going to be finished in by Wardlow. She took the initial shot, found her way back into the mouth of the goal, and got her reward following up on the play, and Frankfort High up by a brace with just under 10 minutes gone.
Yeah, a little bit of chaos there in front of the Christian Academy goal as you saw the initial save, but then bodies hit the floor and
yeah, it really all kind of started from the goalkeeper spilling that, and then it was just kind of all hands on deck, everybody trying to get a foot to the ball, and Frankfort High doing a good job of seeing that happen and really just having multiple Panthers crashing in there trying to follow up the play.
It's a dream scenario for Coach Bo Craycraft as he's putting together his game plan. I'm sure he didn't plan on being up 2-0 this early in the game.
That was a nice cutback by Lily Moore. I think she was looking for her sister up top, but not able to find a friendly shirt. And as you mentioned, the way that Coach Craycraft wants to play, he kind of wants to sit back a little bit. And that through ball didn't make it through to anyone, but wants to sit back a little bit. That's a lot easier to do with a 2-goal lead.
That's exactly right. And, it really puts the pressure on the Christian Academy to get the Moore sisters out and try to make something happen. And you can watch the back line of Frankfort already starting to slide back a little deeper now that they've got some cushion on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and sliding back like that, for players like the Moore sisters who, just probably thrive on having just, just being able to play those 1-2s in front of goal, and just you've got that much less space to work in once you get closer and closer to the goal. It's more you're just it definitely complicates their game plan quite a bit.
Yeah. Emma Johnson drawing the foul there. I thought we were going to play the advantage, but the referee said nope, let's go ahead and pull it back, and the free kick didn't result in much of anything for the Panthers there.
Here come the Royals. They've got a little bit of a hill to climb here, but a nice through ball. Trying to get herself into space is one of the Royal players. I think that is
that's Lily Moore, or Abby Moore, sorry. And the thing about Christian Academy, as soon as their midfielders get control of the ball, the first thing they're doing is looking upfield, and the Moore sisters are out as fast as they can.
We saw a little bit of that in game one it was Jayla Bowen for Franklin County. That was definitely their game plan, is she's just sitting on the shoulder of the back line the entire time, and once they get the ball, they're looking for that long pass over the top, and they succeeded with that 3 times in the first 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm. No, that was a dominating performance by the Franklin County player, and to get a hat trick in just a few minutes is a pretty good display of talent.
Yeah, and you hated that for her last night, that game got so out of hand, especially just considering how isolated she was in that game. I think she only had 3 or 4 touches, and of course only went to halftime. But here's the shot from distance, the right foot, and that was Lily Moore, or Abby Moore, excuse me.
Yeah. And great keeping again, right at the keeper, but strong hands and confidence. Ball goes out of bounds. Frankfort Panthers back on the throw here.
So Brad, as a coach, for looking at this from the standpoint of Frankfort Christian, you go 2 goals down in the first 10 minutes. What changes and what kind of adaptations can you make from the sideline kind of while you're in the line of fire?
Yeah, I think right now you see one of the things I was going to point out, try and get a little bit of width, separate those center backs, because it seems to be going route one or right through the center of the pitch has been the method that they've tried to move the ball. I think getting a little bit of width, getting those defenders moving laterally will open up space for those midfielders to make secondary runs. And I think the big thing is almost using the Moore sisters as decoys for some of the other players, because you can see the attention that they're getting every time the ball is in the offensive end for the Christian Academy.
Yeah, really the goal is just forcing Frankfort High to have to cover more space.
Right. And, neither team is going to go very deep tonight with their substitutions. So the more that you can spread the field and make them have to cover in the entire field, conditioning is going to become a part of this game.
As we see her on the Franklin Goins Insurance replay, the play down the left-hand side, that is Emma Johnson, who opened up our scoring, doing a nice job of getting the ball into space and just a little bit too much of the shoulder used by the Royals defender.
Yeah, that was Sophie Linwick. Getting a little physical there with Johnson, but good play on her to stop the run, because anytime Johnson has the ball, you can see the confidence that she's showing, and she's going to be ready to shoot just like that. And she earns a corner kick with another shot from distance.
And that was one, the keeper, I think, really just had to, you're already down 2 goals. You can't really take any chances at that point that's going to go wide. And it was going to go wide, but I think she did the right thing and just, making sure.
Yeah, Catherine Craycraft coming in on the substitution there. The thing about Johnson is she didn't catch that one as cleanly as the first one, but I think you're going to continue to see her take those types of shots as they're looking to put
again.
Yep, great save there by our keeper.
Yeah, that was a nice job by the keeper for Ella Hansen for the Lady Royals.
Yeah, giving up 2 goals, one she didn't really have a chance on, and then the other was the misfortune of running into her defender. She's played well. The scoreboard has not reflected that, but she's played well and played hard, and just trying to keep her team in. This is going to be danger right here.
Yeah, through ball, trying to touch it around the keeper.
Keeper's out.
Keeper is out.
And
a whiff on the shot. You could tell she saw an open goal, and I think may have seen it and just had stars in her eyes and forgot to actually make contact.
Yeah, she had a little bit more time than she realized and was not able to get a good shot here. But that's, once again, Abby Moore all over the place. Beats the keeper and then a little bit of a miss hit.
And a big deal there was just putting pressure on the keeper, making the keeper have to just go out where she's not comfortable. And the keeper just took a little bit of a touch and it took it away from her.
That was some senior experience by Taylor Gaines there, coming out of the goal to do whatever she could to disrupt the striker. See, Frankfort again pressing the ball, trying to make something happen, because the turnovers have led to their goals, and we'll see what happens here as they can try to control.
Ball is going to roll out. That'll be a throw for the Lady Royals.
This year's district, we've got all the games on 4 consecutive nights, so the winner of tonight's game will play again tomorrow.
Yeah, and the one thing about, we were talking about just legs getting tired and everything. Tonight you're going to see these 2 teams, and this is the first time, last night we had Franklin County playing after having played a pretty competitive game on Monday night, and, these 2 teams have had a week's rest to prepare for this, but the benefit for Great Crossing of being the top seed is not only do they get an extra day of rest between their game last night and this game, but they actually get another hour or so because that game ended after 1 half.
Right. That ball went out of bounds and you'll get a goal kick.
Of course, for me, I'm thinking about this in terms of me and how long it would take me to recover from 40 minutes of running. Not quite the same thing for these young ladies here. I'm in a little better shape.
I'm trying to remember the last time I had 40 minutes of running. It might have been a while. As we're at the halfway point of this first half, definitely an all-Frankfort effort at this point with 2 goals. Christian Academy keeps trying to get their 2 star players open, But Frankfort's been up to the task of keeping them out of the goal.
I've been looking for that one deep-lying midfielder that Frankfort High has. I believe, they're kind of deploying, it looks like number 19 maybe in that area.
And she's kind of doing a little bit of a spy game, so she's keeping up with where the Moore sisters are, trying to make sure that they're not able to just walk into a shot from the top of the box. Yeah, just really just kind of putting an extra body there, making traffic a little bit busier. Yep, and from the days of Frankfort Highs, coached by Daniel Rogers, and the program has really developed through the years, getting more and more players. And I'm really pleased with seeing how they're playing. And one of the big contributors to Daniel Rogers' program was Jason Shaw, who passed away recently. And this team has always played with a lot of heart. But now we're really starting to see the groundwork that they put in years ago paying off for this program. Yeah, and it's been, you've kind of seen dividends being paid the last 3 tournaments, and it's really the time here on Cable 10 that we get a chance to see these programs. And, there was a time where Frankfort, you saw they would always play on, we had 4 teams then, so they're playing on night 1. They're always playing the top seed, and usually the games, they're lucky if they get to halftime with them. And that's no longer the case. They're, the dominant team of the teams based here in Frankfort in this 41st district. Yeah. And, you look at last year's championship game, I think everybody will watch this corner come in from Lily Moore, and that one, the danger rather, is cleared for a moment. Ball finds its way back to Lily Moore and just can't keep control of it. Keep it under control, yeah. But yeah, I think a perfect example of what you were talking about is the championship game last year. I think most of us thought Great Crossing, maybe, this won't be a mercy rule game, but they're going to be a comfortable winner. That was not the case. Right. Frankfort High was in that game up until the very end. They were doing a lot of defending, but just kept a good shape, kept tight, and they scored. It was Emma Johnson who scored a wonder goal with about 5 minutes left, and that one really got interesting towards the end. And to say that about Frankfort High, considering where they were a few years back, is really saying something. And you're seeing that progress just continue on that upward trajectory this year. Yeah, and I think that's the thing that our viewers from home see these programs and see the steps that they're taking to build sustainable programs. I know that we're in a down year a little bit for Western Hills and also for Franklin County, but really this starts in the youth programs and being able to build them up. And Frankfort has struggled as a community to get youth soccer back on the map, and I think we're going to have to take a look and see what we're going to need to do to get our teams competitive again in this district with that current formation of having Great Crossing here. Yeah, and that's, unfortunately been kind of an aspect of the 41st district as long as we've been doing these games, is you've kind of got the outside team that seems to always have the advantage. For years it was Woodford County, and now Great Crossing has kind of taken on that mantle, especially on the girls' end. On the boys' end, it's been a little bit more competitive. Right, and one of the things, and that's why it's so great to see the Frankfort Christian Academy out here, is the hope was that they would get programs, and now they've been able to field a girls program for the last few years, and being able to have another Frankfort team in here hopefully gets us to a redistricting at some point soon, that we're back to 4 teams and they all happen to be within the Franklin County border. Yeah, and that's not to say that we haven't appreciated having Great Crossing here in the 41st district, because they've obviously been very competitive, and they've also been it's been nice having them here in terms of just like they've been really appreciative of us putting the games here on Cable 10. They've allowed us to come to their facilities, and that's really appreciated. But I think I agree with you. I think just for the teams in the area to get stronger, that's probably the way you would hope that this would carry out. Yeah, and Great Crossing being able to have the facilities and the programs that they have are a compliment to their community, and they are dominating in sports, and it's not just soccer, it's across the board. We're very competitive on the football side from the Franklin County programs, but Great Crossing is with the number of students that they have, is definitely able to field a lot of competitive teams.
Of course, it helps when you have a 7-footer.
But that does help on the basketball.
He's a McDonald's All-American, you know, one of the top recruits in the country, and we'll get a chance to see him in blue this year. Back to the festivities at hand here as we have Emily McClavick coming in.
And Emily is the last of the McClavick clan that is playing for Frankfort High. She's seen her brother and her sister be phenomenal players for the Frankfort program, and now she's putting her finishing touches on the McClavick legacy for soccer in Frankfort High history.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun watching them over the years. This is the right-footed shot just going wide, and they are going to say that the goalkeeper, Ella Hansen, did touch that, and we'll have a corner. As we see here on the floor show replay, getting a little bit of space and taking the right-footed shot. That was Rebecca Pires.
Yeah, that was a good shot.
And it will be a goal kick. And that seems to be one of the places where a lot of these teams have struggled, is just getting the offense started from the standpoint of having a goal kick. And you've had players that, you know, some of the teams will bring a player back, an outfield player back to take the goal kick. Some of them will task the keeper with that.
And it's tough to try to play out of that back, so they're wanting to get the pressure off the keeper by kicking it long, but as Frankfort was positioned there, it's hard to beat that first row of attackers when they're waiting on and pouncing on that goal kick.
Yeah, and I mean, you just think about it from a physics standpoint. You've got your own teammates are usually like moving backwards, and the defenders are moving forward,
right.
And you know, logic will tell you the defenders are going to have an easier time getting to the ball in that scenario.
Oh, that's right. See Frankfort on the attack again.
Frankfort High looking to get a little 1-2 out on the right side, and that throw is going to go the way of the Panthers. And, you know, we talk about, you know, this being a down year for who you traditionally see in this game, which would be Franklin County and Western Hills. But it is cool to see these different teams, as that one nearly finding the back of the net and the side of the net. Frankfort High not done yet. And this one sails over. A great follow-up save there by Ella Hansen.
Yeah. Emma Johnson with Johnson with another good shot on goal there.
Yeah, that one had Ella Hansen in no man's land. And that left-footed shot there by Emma Johnson, that was the one that Ella Hansen got the hand to. That'll be a corner kick, as we've got a nice little 1-2 on the left-hand side.
She left it right there at the top of the box, but at the keeper.
Not able to get any real pace on that was, I believe it was Craycraft coming in.
As you can see, the Panthers are back on defense as the keeper tried to get the Moore sisters broke loose to get in that one-on-one situation again that they've been trying all night. But I think once again we're going to need to see them try to play with some width, because they're just essentially kicking the ball into the teeth of the Panther defense.
There's the throw, and you know, it's one of these things. I was kind of discussing this with Lanny. It's hard. A lot of people might see that throw come in 20 yards downfield, and they'll see the shirts with nobody on them towards the middle of the field, and they'll wonder why the ball's not getting thrown there. But again, I think it comes back to you're giving the defenders the chance to have a free run in on the opposite goal if you do that.
That's right. Oh,
we've got a collision.
Oh, got a foul.
Yeah, thankfully both players getting up and looking like they're okay, because that looked like it could have been nasty.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see here on the Franklin Goins Insurance replay. Autumn Wardlow was the one attacking goal, and Ella Hansen going out to kind of play a little sweeper keeper role. And thankfully nobody hurt in the collision, but it looks like we are going to get a penalty kick.
Yeah, Wardlow drew that with the keeper coming in feet first. Ended up taking out the player instead of the ball.
Maybe not the most authoritative call on the officiating
in
terms of letting us know what happened, but it is a penalty. And the right-footed penalty is snuck into the left side of the goal.
And that is Kaylee Curry that put that in.
Kaylee Curry, the senior, increasing the lead to 3 for Frankfort High, and we still got a long way to go, but the Panthers look to be punching their ticket for a rematch against Great Crossing in the 41st District Championship.
You know, those are the things of dreams when you have a senior being able to take a PK in a district game and be able to punch it in.
And a perfect placement, too, because there wasn't a whole lot of power behind that, and Hansen actually guessed correctly,
right,
but just in the perfect spot where Hansen just could not get down far enough in time.
Yeah, it was a well-placed PK.
Stay with us at halftime. We'll have the Classic Gold Master Jewelers halftime show where we'll watch some of the replays, including the 3 goals that we've seen so far, and we'll have a little bit of discussion over the events that have transpired here in the first half, as Frankfort High currently leading with 12:25 left, 3-0, and on the attack again.
That's a good ball.
Yeah, nice layoff to Wardlow.
Able to keep it in.
Ella Johnson tried to get the return pass, but it bounces actually back to her. And Frankfort High will get a throw.
Another substitution coming in.
And this is one place where, you know, this might be relative and, you know, a minor thing, but Frankfort High a little deeper bench and having a few more bodies to throw at this. Plus, it's just easier, I think. It's a much easier task to be attacking for 30 minutes than defending for 30 minutes.
No, that's exactly right. And, you know, Christian Academy is a little bit frustrated. They haven't been able to get their star players out there, but you see a misplay here by the back line of Frankfort, and the keeper's going to come out and try to clean it up.
Yeah, actually, nice job that time by the keeper for Frankfort High, who hasn't had anything to do for a little bit, Taylor Gaines, but she comes out and is authoritative. And the thing is, and we've seen it play out so much, when possession just isn't going your way and you find it hard to get a foot on the ball as a team.
It's another dangerous play here, but nice play by the keeper there.
Yeah, that was a nice job by Gaines to see the danger about a second before it developed. And that's what you want in a senior goalkeeper. You know, you've been there before and you know how to see these things before they happen.
Quick off her line and able to go hands first to get that ball. That was a great play.
And you could tell how badly the Moore sisters just want a little bit of possession, just a little sliver of space to try to get in and help pull some of these goals back.
You know, Daniel Moore, the coach, is just hoping to be able to get one before half. You know, going in 3-0 versus 3-1 is a psychological game, and he's got 10 minutes to try to help his Lady Royals find the back of the net.
Yeah, it's kind of a truism of soccer in general that the most dangerous lead you can have is a 2-goal lead at halftime.
That's right.
We'll do the throw in again.
See the Panthers pushing deep again.
Yeah, nice job of cleaning up that time for Frankfort Christian. That was Aubrey McReynolds, the sophomore defender, coming over to sweep up the danger.
Yeah, Autumn Wardlow has been a problem on both sides of the field for the Christian Academy, trying to stop this Frankfort attack. She's been on the right wing, she's been on the left wing, controlling the ball and trying to give a little bit more breathing room for Emma Johnson.
A little gamesmanship too. They're kind of trapping the ball for a tiny bit between her feet while she was on the ground. And the one thing that happens, I think, in some of these games is when you don't have a lot of the possession for a long time and you're chasing defensively, not only does it wear the legs out, it wears the mind out. And then when you actually do get a foot on the ball, it's hard to slow yourself down and just maintain possession for a little while because you just want to attack so quickly.
No, I think that's exactly right. And one thing I've been noticing here too is that Frankfort's getting a little bit more physical. The Christian Academy team trying to get out and run, and you're starting to see the physical play that the Panthers are bringing to try and slow up some of those opportunities. It's a good throw.
Yeah, nice throw to find the player in space. Lobbing it over there, gets a friendly bounce, but Frankfort Christian this time manages to nudge it out of play. So get a look at the Frankfort Christian bench there in the background.
That's going to be a corner.
And that'll be a corner for Frankfort High. Coming over to take it is going, it looks like claiming that is going to be Emily McClavick, the senior.
Yeah, and here comes Wardlow, who's been a thorn in the side of the Christian Academy, coming over to help.
Yeah, and I think just looking at that, that was something you never would have seen, you know, in previous years from Frankfort High. Even the idea of playing a short corner in that situation.
Yeah, you know, Coach Bo Craycraft, well versed in the soccer community of this region, been a coach over at Georgetown Football Club, and really been inspirational in trying to bring youth soccer back to Frankfort. It's really done a good job of getting these girls prepared for this tournament, and you can see the building blocks here. There is definitely some talent on the field.
Wardlow with a nice step over. Loses possession, but finds its way back to a Panther. That ball finds its way between defenders. And the Panthers will work down the left side.
You can see the Panthers playing with a lot more width than what we've seen with the Christian Academy. The Christian Academy is wanting to get in this running situation where they can get out in front. That's some good defending again, just to clog up those breakaways.
Yeah, that was Abby Moore just racing two Panthers to the ball there. Really just looking for any bit of daylight.
And you see all the black jerseys there, just everybody coming back to play defense. And
clearing it right to a white shirt and taking the shot from distance, just wanting to get anything to challenge the goalkeeper for Frankfort High is number 13 taking that shot. That was Maddie Hornbeck, the senior.
You can definitely see Frankfort putting more players behind the ball, trying to just put bodies in the way of the attackers. And once again, the philosophy's changed a little bit for Coach Craycraft with a 3-goal lead. Definitely thinking more defensive-minded now.
As we see those long shadows start to appear on Benny Watkins Field.
It's good to see the team try and build out of the back. They've been watching a lot of Saturday morning soccer from the pros with that move.
Yeah, it seems like that's a thing, and we talked about, you know, some of the difficulty that these teams have had in goal kicks and just the natural difficulty of where you are versus where the defender is, and how often you see the goal kick just being kind of an occasion where you're just handing the possession back to the other team as this shot from distance is easily wrapped up.
And it's Abby Moore again trying to get something going.
But I wonder if that's kind of some of the idea behind that is we're just going to try to get a little time on the ball and trust our defenders to, be able to handle themselves with the ball at their feet.
No, that's exactly right. One thing that I keep noticing is that they keep putting more on an island. She's up there all by herself. You don't see the Christian Academy bringing support from the midfield up to try to help. They're really just looking for the Moore sisters to bring in the opportunities to score, and that's going to be difficult with this formation that you're seeing from Frankfort.
Now, as a coach, is that what adjustments can you make, if any, formation-wise, to try to maybe get a little more help for the Moore sisters up top?
I think you're going to have to be a little bit more risk-taking. You're already down 3-0. You're going to have to start getting your midfield up and trying to control the ball, and I think you're going to have to start pressing when the ball is deep. Get as many bodies as you can up, and have some faith in your back four to be able to keep the ball out of the back of the net on the other end.
Zella Johnson cutting it back to her left foot, cuts back to the right.
Very
cross coming in and found a Panther right-footed shot, just not able to really get good control on it. There is, I believe, that was number 6. That's Emmy Moore off the bench for the Panthers.
And I'll tell you, I've been very impressed with Emma Johnson, just her control and the way she's playing the game. Very aggressive, always thinking offensively. It's very very fun to watch those types of players that can just take over a game, and that's what she's trying to do right here.
Yeah, and really she's just taking initiative, and she will come all the way to midfield and even into her own side of the field just to get a touch, and just really, I think, you can tell just not only the attack but just the entire pace of play kind of runs through her.
Yeah, she's got definitely a high soccer IQ just based on the way that she's kind of conducting the game right now. She is really all balls lead to Emma Johnson right now for the Frankfort team. It's Allie Mays throwing the ball in. Down to about a little over 2.5 minutes left in the first half, and Frankfort in control.
And if you missed any of those goals, stay with us. We will have all 3 of them during the Classic Gold Master Jewelers halftime show, which will be coming your way in about 3 minutes. As you see there on our Whitehead Hancock scoreboard, they've been our scoreboard sponsor for the entire tournament thus far.
Another good effort by Johnson there.
2 minutes left in this first half, and Frankfort High threatening again, and they will have a corner. Emmy Moore
playing hard there.
Pressuring that Royal back line, and gets a corner for it. And again, I think, maybe our shortage in youth sports kind of extends its way to ball return as well. As
with it being
Panthers having to be their own, their own ball person, I guess.
Well, it's spring break for Franklin County
That's true.
Schools, so all the youth that would be at these typical games, for some reason, district tournament always lines up with fall break, and the players end up being their own ball shaggers at this point.
Left-footed shot, just no power behind it, and
good.
Coming down the left side now, here is that's Abby Moore.
Oh, she's got
nice
some
touch
space
to get herself into some space, but that's also a nice job of sweeping up and coming across field to clear the danger. That was, I believe it was Emmy Moore, number 6. No, that was number 4.
Number 4, yeah.
It was,
that was
Cameron.
Yeah, Savannah Cameron making a good read and run, and you can see that the way that the Panthers are playing, they're going to let Moore have that ball, but as soon as she starts getting out on her own, you start seeing the help come. And one thing that from the Christian Academy standpoint, there was nobody following up with her. They kind of, once again, expecting Abby to be able to score in those situations, and without some help, it's going to be difficult tonight.
Ella Johnson with the marauding run down the right channel and slipped back a little bit and looked like she might have, that was a bit of a heart and mouth moment for a second, but she bounces right back up as we come down to the final seconds of this first half, and kicked out for a throw, but that one will come after the buzzer. As you see here on the replay, shoulder to shoulder tackle.
That was a good
bring
tackle.
Up the ball.
Good tackle by number 10 there. Helen Clark really being physical. But we're at half, and a 3-0 game. Bo Craycraft's got to be smiling going into the huddle.
Yeah, as you can see there, he's pretty happy about how this has played out, and the Royals will have to do a little bit of a rethink in terms of how they're going to approach the second half. Stay with us. We'll have the Classic Gold Master Jewelers halftime show coming up in just a bit here on Cable 10.
Classic Gold Master Jewelers has an amazing selection of jewelry that anyone will love. Classic Gold also provides custom services like pearl restringing, engraving, watch repair, ring resizing, and custom designs. Classic Gold Master Jewelers, 859 East Main Street.
Game of the Week halftime show is brought to you by Classic Gold. Art-carved class rings are available at Classic Gold Master Jewelers on 859 East Main Street in Frankfort.
It's halftime here in Game 1 of Night 2 of the 41st District Tournament. Frankfort High Lady Panthers up 3-0 on the Frankfort Christian Lady Royals, and let's see how we got there. As both teams getting fired up, and out of the gates early was Frankfort High, taking plenty of shots, peppering that Frankfort Christian goal. Yep. And nice streak down the left side, or the right side rather.
And Ella Hansen was busy early with those shots coming in from Frankfort.
Here's the goal that opened up the scoring, that right-footed strike into the top left corner, perfectly placed by Ella Johnson.
That was a hit.
A wonder strike. And here is a player, we were calling her name a lot tonight, Autumn Wardlow, the one who played that cross in. Not able to be cleared. There was great crossing, and Wardlow coming back and slotting in the shot. And that was goal number 2 for the Lady Panthers.
One of those where she worked hard and it just came back for her because she was the one that drove it down to the end line and ultimately got that goal.
Emma Johnson really feeling it there, taking some shots from distance. That another one, I believe that was from Pires.
Yep.
And that was Johnson from distance.
Right off the bar.
And Wardlow feeding the beast again as Johnson tries to chip it in, and nice save by Hansen that time. And this is the one, Hansen coming out to try to be just play for safety's sake, but earned a penalty, and that one slotted in by Kaylee Curry.
Yeah, and from a keeper aspect, she had a good half. She saw some good shots. The penalty, she came out feet first instead of with her hands, and that's what led to that penalty being called. But I think from a first half perspective, Frankfort played well, and the Christian Academy, once again from the keeper side, had a lot of opportunities. She made some good saves, but they were just not able to put the pressure on the Panthers goal.
And we'll see if they can maybe flip that narrative around a little bit. We'll be back in a little bit with second half action. Stay with us here on the Cable 10 Game of the Week.
This time of year, it's all or nothing. And your Toyota dealer has all you need to pull you through the rain, snow, and mud that's headed our way, including more all-wheel drive choices than anyone else. Like the adventurous Toyota RAV4. It's been America's best-selling SUV for the past 8 years. Now with 4.75 APR financing. Or lease a new 25 RAV4 from just $309 a month. Get all you need at your Toyota dealer now. Toyota, let's go places.
The Game of the Week is brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. For all Toyota offers, visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. The Game of the Week is brought to you by The Floor Show. The Floor Show wishes everyone a great sporting season. Be sure to see us for all your flooring needs and personalized customer service. We are just minutes away in Lawrenceburg at 1110 Bypass South, or call us at 502-839-6917. Follow and like us on Facebook too.
Managing your utilities doesn't have to be stressful. With the MyFPB app, everything you need is right at your fingertips. Get 24/7 access to view and pay bills instantly, track electric and water usage, and even manage multiple properties. Go paperless. Turn on notifications and get real-time outage updates. Take control of your utilities anytime, anywhere. Download the MyFPB app now and make utility management easy. MyFPB, your utilities simplified.
Game of the Week is brought to you by Whitehead Hancock. Whitehead Hancock Plumbing has been serving Frankfort families for more than 100 years. You can trust Whitehead Hancock for all your plumbing, heating, cooling, and septic needs. Call them today at 502-227-2213 for 24-hour emergency service, or visit their website at whiteheadhancock.com.
Today, we customize everything.
Yeah.
So why not customize your video choices with NextBand Stream, the new video streaming app from FPB. Just install NextBand Stream on your smart TV, mobile, and streaming devices. Then watch with features like Restart and Replay TV, plus Cloud DVR to record cable and local channels. Powered by fast, reliable FPB internet and Wi-Fi. Customize your video. Call or visit FPB online to sign up.
The Game of the Week is brought to you by Goins Insurance. Family owned, family operated, protecting Central Kentucky since 1949. Call us for the same great rates and great service you've always been given. Call 502-875-4270 for your quote today.
for all your automotive needs.
Don't let your car keep you from making important plans. Take it to David Tolles Auto Pro, 515 Duncan Road and 1348 Versailles Road.
What about Crump for... As we're seeing the sun set over Benny Watkins Field. The lights will be coming up here in just a second if they aren't already. As we see
Sophie Lenwick there, hopefully going to inspire her team to do something this second half in a do-or-die moment for the Christian Academy.
Yeah, Sophie Lenwick, the sophomore, stepping up here. And, you know, I think, Brad, I'll put you in the position of both coaches here and just kind of tell me, you know, we'll start with Frankfort Christian, you know, looking up at a 3-0 deficit on the scoreboard, what's your message to your team and how do you go about getting the Moore sisters a little more involved in the build-up, if you can call it that?
Yeah. I think you've got to start getting a little bit more daring with your midfield coming up to support them a little more. They were on an island, so to speak, where they had 5 defenders around them at some time, and they were unable to really get that separation that they needed. Here's an opportunity for one of the Moors. But you see the numbers that Frankfort's putting back. Coach Craycraft has been very astute in having his defensive midfield step back and help those back four in his 4-1-3-2 formation.
But yeah, and again, you know, having that extra midfielder kind of having a little bit of flexibility, I think that also kind of creates enough space for a player like Emma Johnson, who clearly likes to have a little bit of creative license to go wherever she wants on the field. You know, you're kind of creating a little space for that to happen as well. So you know, she's got some room to move around, and she's got some room to kind of get to the ball and create without just causing, you know, you never want too many players in the same part of the field at the same time because you're just leaving so much open.
Yeah, I think, you know, if you're looking for like how a style of play that she's showing, she's almost playing like Harry Kane for Bayern Munich, and the fact that she's kind of drifting in several different scenarios, playing a little bit of midfield to go pick up the ball, but then also looking to distribute. But when the shot's there, she's going to take it, and she's really been the key to this game for Frankfort.
Yeah, and there's just something to be said for just the most simple idea of, you know, get your best player as many touches as you can.
Yeah, good things happen.
And center your game plan around that. Here's the throw in for the Lady Royals, who've got a little bit of work to do to get back into this one.
Yeah, you know, the big thing is you hope that they're going to be able to do something here early just to get the emotion back on their side. But you know, the longer that Frankfort can keep them off the board, the better it's going to be from Frankfort from a mental state of winning the mind games.
Yeah, the longer it goes, the tougher it goes. You know, the harder it gets to imagine yourself getting back in the game.
Right.
Here's Wardlow, or no, it's actually, yeah, that's Wardlow down the left side. Those numbers are still a little bit difficult for us to make out from our vantage point here. Should get a little easier once the lights come up and the sun fully goes behind the trees. But we are enjoying this beautiful sunset we have here.
This is my favorite time of the year, and part of it's for soccer, but part of it's also for those beautiful sunsets we see.
Yeah, we're finally getting a little bit of autumn in the forecast, and it felt just a little bit chilly this morning. I kind of forgot what that felt like.
Yeah, that's how you know it's really soccer weather. What's the American game, we tend to play soccer in the summer and warm months, but most people don't realize it is a winter sport around the rest of the world. And
yeah, you have heated pitches, you have all the players over in England. You can tell, you can almost just, you know, without really knowing any of the names or hearing any of the commentary, as we see that cross come in and Hansen spills it. Luckily, it bounces just outside the goal. But I was going to say, you can almost tell the nationality of the players based on you without even hearing the commentating or knowing anything about it, just based on what they're wearing.
Yeah. Hansen didn't get her body in front of that one. A little bit of luck, but
I think she knew it too, just based on her reaction.
That's a good ball movement there again, and another corner coming. That was it. Emma Johnson showing all of the ball skills that she has.
Yeah, that was number 14 for the Lady Royals, Ellie Gilbert,
she's
getting her foot to it.
Yeah, I think Ellie felt the power of Emma Johnson's shot there.
Johnson with a nice 1-2. That's Pires, I believe, hits the top of the crossbar. Still in danger are the Royals, not clearing it yet. Nobody can really get a foot to it. I thought I might have seen something that looked like a handball there coming from Ellie Gilbert, but it was really close. Let's take a look at the floor show replay. I want to see if my eyes were deceiving me here.
That's a great shot.
Yeah, just inches away.
Out.
Just some chaos in front of the goal.
Yeah, Frankfort definitely the attacker in this game, and trying to get more shots on frame. And
yeah, they smell blood in the water now. Trying to turn the corner around the right side. That time was Rebecca Pires, but that'll be a throw for the Lady Royals.
Frankfort just trying to slow up the Moore sisters as they try and run down the field. You know, it really that slowing up the ball is the key to defending. A lot of times people think you have to win the ball. The number one thing a defender should do is slow down the ball, so then you can get more defensive players back. And you know, you can definitely see the attributes from the coaching staff at Frankfort coming out with the way some of these players are playing defense.
Who was the Italian defender? You may know this from years back, and people always commented he had this great reputation, but he didn't make a whole lot of ball-winning tackles. And his comment on that was, if I have to win the ball with the tackle, it's because I made a mistake.
Yeah, now that's Maldini was.
Yep, that was Maldini.
And the other famous defender was Beckenbauer, who was just outsmarted everybody to the ball. He knew where the ball was going before the player who had it even knew.
Yeah, and watching those players operate, another guy I put in that kind of, and he's not a defender, but those players that you really just gain a better understanding of the game just by watching them and trying to read their mind and see what they're doing. Sergio Busquets was another one of those guys that was just a joy to watch.
Yeah, and the game just looks slow to them sometimes, and and the panic that soccer can be, having that ability to slow the game down and see it.
Nice step over there to get a little bit of space, nearly cutting the corner.
It's Perez again, isn't
it?
Yeah, she's shown some life here in the second half.
You see the score of the first goal, and now we notice tied for 16th in total scoring in the state of Kentucky, Emma Johnson. Now with 32 goals on the season. Or 31.
They finally got the ball out, but here's our keeper again coming to clean it up. And, it's a fine line when you're trying to get two strikers up the middle of the field. What should be trying to transpire is getting a little bit more towards the corner flags, putting the ball to the corner flag so the keeper can't make that type of play. But at this point, Christian Academy can't be real choosy on how they're getting the ball to their star player.
Well, they may have a shot here now, and going just wide that time, and that was one of the more. It was
Abby again.
It was Abby Moore, and it looked like that. I thought she was offside, which is why I wasn't really reacting to it, as we see coming back into the game.
Yeah, she was offside, and you'll see the Panthers put the ball back in play now from the spot.
Yeah, I was going to say sometimes with goalkeepers who are on a team that has the lion's share of the possession, you worry that maybe a little bit of the focus starts to slip, but we really haven't seen that yet in the case of Frankfort High, as
Gaines has done
Gaines has been really sharp when she's called upon.
Right. And she's been very active. When the ball comes into the box, she is quick off her line, and really that's the secret to goalkeeping. The best save is the one you don't have to make. And having quick feet and getting out is a great attribute for a keeper. It's a dangerous ball here now again for Frankfort.
There's Wardlow trying to get it just to a little bit of free space.
She had
still with it. McClavick came back to touch it and put it back into the danger area for Frankfort High. Wardlow trying to play it out wide. Pires, who keeps it in, turns the corner, fires in a cross with the right foot. Wardlow with the shot. It is spilled. Wardlow comes back for it, still out there, and finds its way into the back of the net, and coming in to score that goal is Abby Vaught.
That was just one of those right place, right time. Abby Vaught, the sophomore, able to put it in the back of the net.
And Ella Hansen over in the goal, getting some hugs from her battery mates back there in the defense. I think it was just kind of, she just didn't really get as much on that first save as she wanted to, and then from there, Panthers really crashing them out the goal and getting their reward for it. 4-0 your score as the sophomore Abby Vaught puts in the final kick to send that one into the back of the net.
Yeah, I think, when you see that chaos in front of the goal, once the keeper spills it, that's always danger, and Frankfort capitalized second time tonight that they put a ball in off of some misplay there in front of the goal.
And now if you're Frankfort Christian, you really have to start committing bodies up forward. And for a team that attacks as well on the counter as Frankfort High, this could get out of hand pretty quickly.
Yeah, and you're in a precarious situation. Do you go all out to try and score and leave yourself exposed, or do you just sit back and hope you get some breaks? At this point, it's just time to start trying to get the ball forward as quick and as you can.
Yeah, I agree. It's time to pull the ripcord. And I mean, if you get run off the field at this point, at least you went down swinging. But a chance to get one back here. Again, just laboring on the offensive end.
You see those Frankfort defenders getting physical, winning the ball from being able to put a shoulder to the attacker and being able to extinguish that attack again from the Christian Academy.
And how much does having that extra midfielder back there, the deep-lying midfielder, help the defense in terms of just keeping the action in front of them?
Yeah, and I think that's a great point, is that Frankfort is stopping the ball before it gets dangerous. And, you keep seeing the Christian Academy trying to flash the ball in there to get behind the defense, but essentially with 5 defenders always staying back, that's almost an impossible task.
Here's Pires looking to turn the corner on the right. She's got a little space to put in a cross. And here it comes in, this time cut out by the Royals.
It's just Frankfurt's quicker to every ball, it seems, at this point in the game.
Yeah, and it looks like a little bit fresher legs, too, as they haven't had to do near the amount of chasing. Here's Wardlow with it.
Wardlow's had a good game. She is just one of those players that you love her if you play with her, you hate her if you play against her, because she is always somehow getting a touch on the ball.
Yeah, and I don't mean this in a derogatory way, but a little bit of a pest.
Yes.
And that's a compliment in terms of this game.
Yeah, and you can just see the hunger she has to get the ball and do something with it. It's fun to watch athletes like that.
There was a player I always appreciated watching that was kind of like that, Uruguayan player Luis Suarez.
Yep.
Had a hunger for several things.
Usually the ear or shoulder of an opponent.
Yeah. Thankfully, we've managed a lot more decorum tonight.
Yeah, this has been a very fairly fought match. You can see the players have helped each other up. They've talked. It's refreshing to see the game being played this way.
Even in the penalty situation we had just a little bit ago, as Emma Johnson, you always have to stop what you're doing when she has the ball heading towards goal. That she commands a lot of attention.
Yeah.
But even in the penalty situation we had in the first half, both players okay and helping each other up, and it's been really nice to see.
Emma Johnson looks like she's getting a little bit winded. I anticipate we'll probably see a sub for her, because she could have taken a couple of additional touches there, but she took the shot and was able to be dangerous, but unable to get it in the back of the goal.
Yeah, and having the lead in hand now, Coach Craycraft, he probably has, in the back of his head, you don't ever want to start assuming, but I'm sure the mind starts to go a little bit towards, getting some fresh legs for tomorrow night.
Yeah, and, as they control the ball here, this is what he was talking about early when I talked with him. He wants to be able to maintain possession, and possession is the best defense. If the other team doesn't have the ball, it's pretty hard to score.
I've been really impressed with some of the footwork we've seen from the junior Rebecca Pires over there on the right side here in the second half. She's made some really good turns and just really good with the ball at both feet. And I always say that's one of the indicators. It's the first thing you can tell, really, the level that a player is at by how good they are with their weak foot.
Yeah. Hannah Hayes just came into the game.
We see maybe some of that starting to enter into the game plan here as Autumn Wardlow, she had taken a trip over to the bench, but I think she might have just been over there to kind of...
I think Perez is cramping a little bit in her calf. And it looks like we're going to have a substitution. I noticed her stretching it as those substitutions were taking place, but...
the curse of the commentator.
I see the legend Linda Yonkin there right behind the players, and Linda, a Hall of Famer.
That's right.
And the legend of sports here in Franklin County, documenting for the State Journal.
And I don't want to age anyone. This is a compliment, because having this kind of staying power in any industry, especially one like print, is just really, really exemplary. But she started at the State Journal the month I was born.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I found that out when she was inducted a couple weeks ago into the Hall of Fame, and just really cool. It's always a wonderful fixture to have here covering, Frankfort City sports.
Right. Perez cramping in that calf. I think Coach Craycraft walking back with her. I don't know which one's limping worse, but I think he's kind of concerned about a player that's going to be instrumental for that game tomorrow night. So I think we may see at the last moments of Perez here.
Yeah, and you talked about, instrumental is a key word for it because you mentioned it earlier how much the game plan depends on just creating width and exploiting the space that creates. And Ira is one of the wide players you rely on to do that.
Right, and it's going to be a yeoman's task anyway just to go up against the Great Crossing tomorrow night. But if you don't have some of your best players available at 100%, it's going to make that task even tougher.
Frankfort Christian just trying to get any sort of momentum headed towards the opposite side of the field at this point. It's been pretty much all one-way traffic for this entire game thus far. I'm trying to, I think maybe one or two, it'd be generous to call them shots on target for the Lady Royals tonight.
Yes, and it just comes from the defensive structure of the Panthers being able to stop the dangerous attacks before they even happen, being able to put a body on somebody to keep it. But
yeah, that's a nice job there, just talking about that by Abby Moore to cut out the pass. She saw the through ball coming, stepped into it, had a second of daylight, but Frankfort High closing quickly.
And you see also the battle between players there. You see some of the younger players getting pushed off the ball by the upperclassmen. And, Lily Moore, as a freshman, it's just tough to compete physically in some of those one-on-one battles with defenders.
Here comes the throw in from Madeline Starkey, number 12. You saw her just a little bit ago for the Lady Panthers. And this will go out, I believe. It'll be a throw for Frankfort High, actually. I thought maybe a Panther got a foot to it.
It's just that pressure. Frankfort just keeping the ball in the offensive end and trying to see if they can get more. Another great shot from off the crossbar.
I think that's the third one we've had hit the crossbar so far tonight, and that would have been maybe the best of the bunch for Emma Johnson.
I think Emma Johnson's got a hat trick of posts.
Nice turn that time. I believe that was Wardlow over on the far side, just leaving the defender in their shoes, stuck in the turf. Here's Johnson on the other side, another cutback.
A little Cruyff turn there.
Yeah, Frankfort High just showing off now.
It's fun to see the confidence that a 4-0 lead will have with your footwork.
Yeah, anytime anyone can show off a little Cruyff turn, it's a nice thing to see aesthetically from their point of view and ours. Let's take a look at this again. Johnson finding a little bit of space and just trying to do that chip shot and nearly sneaking it in.
That is the third poster crossbar she's had tonight, and she got 2 goals on the day, but I think she'd trade those 2 goals for one of those ones off the crossbar to go in.
Nice job of sort of midfielder defensive work, and that almost set up another chance for Frankfort High.
Johnson is not afraid to shoot from anywhere. She's had shots from 30 yards out, 25 yards out, anything outside the 18. She is not afraid to put a foot to it.
Yeah, and when you look at her goal tally on the season, she definitely has and deserves a permanent green light. We've got Abby Vaught, who scored the 4th goal coming back into the game, and Autumn Wardlow will get a well-deserved breather.
Yeah, and it's just, Frankfort taking advantage of a little bit deeper bench than the Christian Academy.
Frankfort Christian, I mean, from their point of view, it's the result is pretty well slipping out of their hands. Never say die, but it would take something special for them to turn this game around. But for their purposes, you'd like to see them, because they've had a pretty good season thus far, 7-9 in one of the early years of their existence. You'd like to see them, go home with a goal tonight, and I'm sure that would, it's not going to make this any easier, but it's always good to see the ball go into the back of the net.
Yeah, and they've had a good year, 7-9, a very respectable record. And they've up till tonight had allowed 48 goals on the season and scored 45. So they've been in a lot of the games. And, tonight a 4-goal deficit is going to be tough to make up in this final 21 minutes.
Especially when Frankfort High just keeps attacking that goal. Here's Johnson. I thought she was going to try to play it on the half volley there, but just running out of space. That would have been something special.
Now they're trying to get the ball up the field to their goal scorers, the Moore sisters, but Frankfort just gumming up the process.
And that's exactly what you want your midfield to do. You want your midfield to dictate the pace of play and dictate where the play happens on the field.
Right.
You're trying to. That's the key, is to just sort of determine where the play takes place.
Okay, thank you.
I want to take a second and thank our crew here at Cable 10 for everything that, they've been doing. This is our 3rd night, and we'll have another night tomorrow, weather permitting. And it's been a lot of fun bringing you this tournament, and want to thank our camera ops. We'll give you their names towards the end of the broadcast tonight, but they've been doing a fantastic job out there under some tough conditions. Of course, we had rain, a little bit of rain on Monday night, a lot of rain yesterday prior to arriving here, but always up to the task. And it's been a lot of fun bringing you all this tournament. And make sure you stay tuned for our post-game show. We've got a player of the game brought to you by Expree Credit Union, and we'll have a play of the game brought to you by Central Kentucky Toyota dealerships, and your post-game recap, also brought to you by Expree Credit Union. So stick around. That's about 30 minutes away, or 20 minutes rather, give or take a minute. Counting not my forte.
Yeah, it's one of those things that's so great to have these local sponsors that want to help get these games broadcast, because, these are highlights for these kids. They'll be looking at this game. Remember when I took that shot? Remember when I did this play? These games live on for in legend, but also on the Cable 10 network, on their Facebook page, and everywhere else.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure bringing all these games to the general public with that, and that's one of the things you talked about, trying to increase participation and get, youth soccer sort of back on its feet, and I do think that's one component of it, that anyone out there seeing this kind of plants a bug in their head, a little seed of, hey, I might want to do that someday.
Right, and it's funny how some of these clips live in infamy. I had a daughter that played in 2 of the games. She had a concussion, and it's like we often joke that her highlights from her career were captured on film, and it was a ball to the face in one of them. So
captured on X-ray. Yeah, and some of our clips during the tournament have had a reach far beyond the boundaries of Franklin County. A couple of years ago, as a shot by Johnson with the right foot, Ella Hansen able to wrap that one up. A couple of years ago, we had a young man, Bailey Spade, for Frankfort High, who scored a goal from nearly his own side of the field, and that one made it all the way. I think NBC Sports, their site, carried that for a while, and
that was one of those shots that was legendary.
Yeah, I think you saw some flames coming off the ball in that one. As we've got a substitution coming in, as taking a seat for Frankfort High. That is Madeline Starkey, and coming in, I believe they brought number 3 back in.
The irony of Bailey Spade was he was a keeper by trade, and he was put out in the field for that game, and as a senior, that's always fun when a keeper can get out and actually play in some of the other positions.
Cometh the moment, cometh the man.
Johnson back in the final third, picking up the ball and trying to get it moving offensively now. She has been everywhere tonight. Another
a little
tough
bit of a
physical
follow
play.
through there, but nothing in it. I think it was the official probably making the correct decision there. I didn't really see a whole lot of intent there, and just two players going for the same ball at the same time.
Right. Once again, Moore getting a little bit frustrated there. She had thought she was going to get an opportunity to have a run out, but that's that sticky D from Frankfort.
Here's the throw from the Royals, and Moore just shooting from distance, trying to get anything headed towards that goal.
And you see the numbers that Frankfort have back. It's going to be tough to have a one-on-one type goal. It's going to have to be a build-up play to get past those that last line of 5 defenders.
And one thing you saw just there, Taylor Gaines in the goal has had so little to do, and those kind of lobbed in shots that she just dealt with. Not a lot of pace on it, but those can be kind of tricky because it sits up there and the attackers have a chance to just follow that up and crash in, and it can be kind of tricky for a keeper because you start to hear footsteps.
Right.
But she did a great job of it, of just staying calm and wrapping it up. There's Johnson down the other end, kind of going on her own and gets free. Clear look at goal. Goes for the nutmeg on the keeper. That time Ella Hansen able to get down and block it. Johnson gets it back.
Good turn.
Some nice work by Johnson there to keep the attack alive, and just trying to test Hansen from distance was number 15, Kaylee Curry, who scored that penalty in the first half. Let's take a look at this. Johnson really had a wide open goal to the left side of the keeper, but just think she
just went for power.
Yeah, just went for power, and that time Ella Hansen doing a nice job of keeping herself down.
Ella Hansen has been busy tonight.
Yeah, I really think she's done a good job of kind of shaking off a rough first half, and gave up the goal early, but the second half has been pretty impressive at times. And that one, I mean, it was kind of fell to her, but you see the ball go in your net a few times, it can start to work on your confidence, but I think she's bounced back pretty well.
Yeah, more subs coming in. Looks like Autumn Wardlow is back.
Make sure you stay with us after this broadcast. We'll take a little bit of a break, and then we'll be back with the 2 versus 3 game for the boys side of the bracket. And that will be Frankfort High taking on Western Hills.
Yeah, and a matchup that happened exactly 1 year ago today.
And quite a matchup it was. That one went down to the wire as Western Hills taking the lead early, but Frankfort High coming back to take the victory. And I think it's, last year Frankfort High coming away with the 41st District crown on penalties. And last night's game for Great Crossing against Franklin County, I think we kind of imagined the same thing happening as that went to overtime, but Logan Hebb scoring a great goal, a shot across the body at the end of the game and getting the victory as Abby Moore finally able to get a little time on the ball. And here's Lily Moore trying to find any space whatsoever, but I think, the amount of defending that the Lady Royals have had to do kind of showing itself there. A lot of players kind of standing like they've got weights on their legs.
Yeah, it's been a lot of up and down play tonight, and you're starting to see fatigue play in as we've got just about 12 minutes left in this one. Seeing the Christian Academy getting a little fire in their belly right now, trying to get something to happen here. It's going to be a throw in from deep.
Yeah, they'll get a throw, and you're starting to see some hands on knees too, and I think a little bit from both teams. As we've mentioned, we've got the cheering section there for, I believe that's the Frankfort Christian faithful over there.
Yeah, they're going to have to get on the rally caps or something because we're down to 12 minutes and they're down 4-0.
And here's Lily Moore. And that's kind of what I thought. She was offside when the ball was thrown into her. I'm sure this is not the way they envisioned their season coming to an end, but nothing to be ashamed of, especially being so young in the sort of the history of this team. And also, you look up and down the roster, got one senior on it. So, getting some of these girls back next year for the Lady Royals, they've got a year of experience, another year of experience under their belt, and really not a whole lot of juniors either. Abby Moore, and if she comes back, she's your leading scorer.
Yeah, they actually have 3 seniors. It's Maddie Hornbeck, Allie Mays, and Abriana Sutherland. So, when you look at their team, they are going to be back again next year with the Moore sisters once again leading them.
Free goal kick going into the air for the Flyers, and now the Royals with the chance to attack again. Shot from distance, just
look at all the defenders back for Frankfort. They are going to try and gum it up, and the Christian Academy is just not pulling up enough attackers at this point. As you see, as soon as somebody has a play at the ball, there's 3.
There it is. Will be the opening up of scoring, and that is Abby Moore finally getting some of that frustration out, managing to direct the ball into the back of the net. Frankfort Christian might be a little late for them to turn this game around, but they do have 1 goal to show for it, and that was the Moore sisters finding each other.
Yep, and you just look at the heart here. She is working, finally gets it on her right foot to put it home.
We see it, and really, I think we've complimented the Frankfort High defense so much tonight. That was a situation where just seemed like no one really wanted to take charge.
Yeah, and it was just the will of a goal scorer there. She had the heart to get that goal and get her team back in this one. So with 10 minutes left, we'll see what happens.
And looking at her there, you can see kind of the effect of all the running that she's had to do tonight. And I'm sure, it's going to be kind of cold comfort, but at least, that had to feel pretty good after all that work, finally getting some kind of reward for it.
Yeah, we'll see how quickly they can get back on the offensive end here.
Yeah, we've seen stranger things happen here on the game of the week, so don't want to write Frankfort High's name into the championship game just yet.
That was Gaines with another sprint to get the ball and start the offense back for Frankfort.
Johnson with the cutback, looking to just play the ball into space and give.
There's Perez.
Yeah, Perez back in. That's going to be a throw. It just did come off of Perez there.
So the calf injury she had earlier seems to have been shaken off, and she's back out there on the field. I'm sorry, that was Hannah Hayes. So maybe it wasn't Perez.
Yeah, well, from our point of view, the 5 and the 8 do kind of look a lot alike. So.
There's Johnson again, taking the ball.
Yeah, Johnson just picking the pocket. She's got a chance to fire in on goal, and Hansen making the save and just about keeping her team with an outside chance of turning this one around.
And as a sophomore, this is such good experience for Hansen, as she'll have a couple more years to be able to lead her team from the goal position.
Coming over to take the corner kick is Wardlow. Just playing it, and just right now, Emma Johnson is just like, just get me the ball and let me work.
Yeah, those two have definitely been the spark plugs for Frankfort tonight. Got another corner coming up.
Yeah, and I wonder if they'll go with the same strategy here. And we're getting closer to the point where it's like you're just trying to kind of, not necessarily just sit on the ball, but you're fine just kind of maintaining possession and killing a little bit of time.
Right.
you don't want to leave yourself open necessarily.
Yep, here comes Abby Moore. Trying to find her sister, but the sweeper from Frankfort Panthers.
I believe that was Curry coming in to just put her foot behind it. They will get a throw.
Another substitution coming in as that looks like it was Emily McClovick coming in.
18, Leslie Almendarez.
Oh, I'm sorry, got the wrong one.
And Ella Hansen just having the ball sort of guided into her hands by her back line there. 7 minutes left in this one. 4-1 your score. Frankfort High seems well on their way to a rematch in the championship game with Great Crossing. Of course, we'll have that tomorrow night for you right back here at Benny Watkins Field at 6 o'clock.
Here she comes again.
And here is
Abby Moore.
Abby Moore. She's got a free on goal and pushes it just wide.
It was a great run, and
yeah, just she's been waiting all night for a chance at goal like that, and I think she was just trying to place it instead of going for power, and that might have been what bit her in the end.
Got her hands on her hips. She's played hard tonight, and not a lot of substitutions coming from the Christian Academy, so these girls are playing a lot of minutes.
6 minutes left as the Royals at least have a goal to their credit tonight. I'm sure they'd love to just cut a little bit more out of this lead, just as their season starts to dwindle down here.
Oh, that's a good stick by Emma Johnson.
Emma Johnson with the nice defensive work. She'll get the return pass here, and
Wardlow picking up the loose ball. Yeah.
Wardlow trying to get the ball to her right foot, but she does play in the cross with the left. And that'll spill out wide over to Abby Vaught, who was a scorer tonight. Wardlow not able to keep that one in front of her. So we see here on the floor show replay, this is Lily Moore. And a great tackle there by Johnson, just leaving Moore on the deck and taking the ball. Here's
Abby Moore again. And once again, the speed coming down the field.
Almost deflecting back into the path of Abby Moore that time, as Kaylee Curry clearing it into her own player. Kaylee Curry, the senior who knocked in the penalty, which accounted for the third of Frankfort High's 4 goals tonight.
Gonna go out for a goal kick.
Yeah, I think just a little bit of frustration there for the Royals. They've been doing a lot of chasing, and just the effect that has on the legs, and it gets harder and harder to really turn mentally defense to offense. We're gonna get a substitute in here for the Royals. Number 9, who I don't have on my roster.
Yeah, we're at that point in the game where you want to get some experience for players that may not have seen a whole lot of playing time earlier in the game. But it's nice when the coaches are able to share this opportunity with as many players as possible. Down to the final 3 minutes of a 4-1 game, Frankfort in control.
And it's not for Frankfort High, it's not just that they're going to wind up back in the championship game, but no matter what happens, they're going to the 11th region tournament for a second year in a row.
Which is huge for that program. And hats off to Bo Craycraft and what he's done with this team. And you know, tomorrow night will be an interesting matchup against Great Crossing, and we'll see what kind of game they can bring to go up against that juggernaut that is Great Crossing's women's team.
2.5 minutes left here. Make sure you stay with us on the post-game show. We'll have highlights. We'll have a play of the game, a player of the game, and we'll put a bow on what looks like is going to be a Frankfort High win and a rematch of last year's 41st District Championship game. Here comes the throw in.
And last time those two met up, it was Great Crossing on top 3-0, so we'll see how much the game has changed since that date back in September.
And that game, was that at Frankfort High, or was that?
That was at Great Crossing.
Of course, last year on the boys and girls side, we had Frankfort High and Great Crossing. Those both wound up being really, really entertaining games.
It's a good shot.
Nearly sneaking it in the far post. That would have made this you know, we've only got about a minute and a half left, but may have given us something to think about here.
And just hungry for the ball there. Moore was able to get a foot to it, but
yeah, you can see how she's gotten the goal tally she has. She really just has an eye for goal and just a striker's mentality.
Yeah.
The Panthers a minute away now from punching their ticket to tomorrow night's championship game. Just going to let the ball roll out and let a few extra seconds tick off here.
See the boys team starting to congregate around the field waiting for their moment.
Yep, and that moment will come just immediately following this game. As we wrap this game up, make sure you stay with us as we're going to have the boys side of the bracket playing the Frankfort High Panthers. The champions from last year will take on the team that they beat in the semifinal round, Western Hills. That should be a pretty entertaining game. You're not going to miss that, so stay with us here on the Game of the Week.
That's a good shot.
Shot from distance, and this time Taylor Gaines able to wrap it up, and that should just about do it. As we count down from 10, 4-1 is your final. The Lady Panthers, for the second year in a row, making the championship game of the 41st District, and they will move on to play Great Crossing tomorrow night as Frankfort Christian ends their season with the record of 7-10. Got a goal in the end, but Frankfort High deserved winners tonight. We'll be back with post-game festivities and highlights, so make sure you stay with us as we put a bow on a 4-1 victory by Frankfort High in Game 1 of Night 2 of the 41st District Tournament here on Cable 10 Game of the Week.
There's a reason why Toyota is America's best-selling retail brand. It's the quality, dependability, and reliability that you expect from Toyota. And that starts right here in the USA, where Toyota has invested over $49 billion into 11 different manufacturing plants, including the newest one, a battery plant for its electrified vehicles. There are now 13 different Toyotas built in the USA, with more on the way. America drives Toyota. Let's go places.
The Game of the Week is brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. For all Toyota offers, visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
High five to all our local teams from Esprit Credit Union. Esprit celebrates and encourages you and your successes athletically, personally, and financially. Let us reward you. Open a High Five Experience account and earn money with your checking. Visit us at esprit.org for details. Membership required, federally insured by NCUA.
The Game of the Week was brought to you by Esprit Credit Union. Esprit Credit Union wishes all our local teams a great season. Show your local spirit with a spirited debit card featuring your school colors and mascot. Open an Esprit Spirited account today and let the rivalry continue. Federally insured by NCUA.
Welcome back to a sun-soaked Benny Watkins Field as Frankfort High has taken down the Lady Royals of Frankfort Christian 4-1. and we'll move on to the championship game. And let's show you how we got there. We'll start out with the Central Kentucky Toyota dealerships play of the game. And Brad, it's hard to pick anything else but this opening goal, which was just a thing of beauty from Emma Johnson.
Yeah, that was a strike that changed the whole complexion of the game. You see her from about 20 yards out just ripping that shot into the upper right corner.
Yeah, let's see the other angle of it here. That is just perfect placement. Chip shot goal, sneaks it under the crossbar, and that opened up the scoring. And now it's time for the Esprit Credit Union player of the game, and why not?
You might
Emma
recognize
Johnson,
her.
number 7.
Yeah, you might recognize her. She was everywhere tonight.
Yeah, and scoring this goal, but also just a constant threat, just really running the show for Frankfort High. As you see that goal again, really the 2 shots on goal, one of them resulting in that goal, 2 in the first half, and just a constant threat.
Yeah, she hit post, she hit crossbar, she hit the back of the net, and able to just make defensive stop after defensive stop. She was everywhere on the field tonight.
Yeah, and just this one, if this had gone in, I think we'd be talking about this for the next 5 years. Great game for Emma Johnson, who was our Esprit Credit Union player of the game.
Yeah, you know, Daniel Moore and...
Now it's time for the post-game recap, brought to you by Esprit Credit Union. And now we can talk about the way that this whole thing proceeded. Let's watch this again.
Yeah, let's just watch that goal. And then this is a great play as well. You've got Wardlow that drives the ball down and then has the fortune that the ball just pops up there and she puts it in the back.
Just making herself a nuisance and gets her reward for it. And then just continuing to threaten the goal.
That's Johnson.
The Lady Flyers, Johnson again, and she'll get it back from Wardlow.
And you know, that was a great save there by Ella Hansen.
Ella Hansen unfortunately picking up the penalty, which led, nice sportsmanship by both young ladies there, but that led to the 3rd goal for Frankfort High.
Yeah, and that was Curry that put that in the back of the net. Kaylee Curry, the senior.
And rounding out the scoring for the Flyers, here's number 11 for the Lady Flyers. That's Abby Vaught, the sophomore. The Panthers, rather. The Flyers name was confusing me because I was seeing it on my screen.
And here's Abby Moore with the goal that she worked and worked and worked for and finally paid off there late in the second half.
And that had to be a little bit of a good feeling after a bad result. That was the Esprit Credit Union post-game recap. All right, stay with us. We've got the boys' side, Frankfort High versus Western Hills, coming up. Thanks, everybody, for watching the Cable 10 Game of the Week.